Yeah.
Well, Andy, along that journey too, you made your first NASCAR National Series starts in your early 30s in 2007 in the trucks and the Xfinity. What was that journey like to that point to be able to make those first starts in the National Touring Series?
So cool. My first NASCAR start was with JTG. Before it was JTG Jardy. They were in the Wood Brothers shop, sharing the back of the shop, and I had pressed every team owner that I worked with for years and years and years on the sports car side. Like, hey, you should try stock car racing. You should try. And I finally got one to try and do that. And there was JTG. There was only 2 road course races on the schedule at that time in what was the Busch Series, Xfinity now, and that was Montreal and Watkins Glen. And they had a driver that was a great short track driver. I'm just blanking on the name. Kelly Byers.
Yeah.
Good dude, really good short track driver. Was doing good on the speedways, but just didn't ever have an opportunity to drive a lot of road course stuff. So I got to jump in the 47 Clorox car before AJ was in it, before Ambrose was in it, and I got to race that car at Montreal and at Watkins Glen. And so I did Busch before I did truck or anything like that. And we were running really strong at Montreal. We were in the top 6 or 8. Ambrose was my teammate. So my first race was that crazy race at Montreal with Robbie Gordon and Ambrose and everybody doing Tagliani, doing like 3 guys doing donuts at the end because they all won. And we broke a gear on the restart with like 10 to go or something like that. And I came back 2 weeks later and we raced Watkins Glen, and I got my first top 10 in the Busch Series back then. And there was 8 Cup regulars in the top 10. And I had a great battle with Newman and Denny Hamlin in the last couple laps, and got by him coming out of turn 10 and to put me in the top 10. And that was really cool. I think it was JTG's first top 10 in the Busch Series. Definitely that year. I don't know if it was ever. Probably wasn't ever, but it was good. And I remember I climbed out of the car in 2007 at Watkins Glen. We secured a top 10, and I sat down on the tailgate. And this is, you come out of pit lane and they just direct you back. And it's a bit of a hike for the crews to get back to the hauler. So I had a minute where it was just me and none of the team members were around. I sat on the tailgate and I was like, that is so cool. We got a top 10 in NASCAR, and I had to take in that moment because I knew that was my last race that season. And I take a lot of these moments in where I'll just take a minute and appreciate the moment because, again, I have no idea if that's going to happen again. So I just kind of took it in, looked at the car, tried to remember the scene and remember cool parts of the race. And like, man, okay, at least we notched the top 10 here. That was about as good as we could expect. I'm just I've raced prototypes, GT cars, touring cars, everything along the way. The stock cars on road courses are by far my favorite thing on the planet. I wish there was just a whole series of that. That would be epic. And it's just so much fun that I appreciate it. And even up to this point, after the 2 races last year, I get out of the car. We had 2 top 5s in 2 races, and it was like, holy cow, awesome. That's the first time I've gone back-to-back top 5s, and it was like, that's pretty cool. And maybe this is my last race ever. Who knows? Have no idea. But live in that moment, appreciate that moment. I always say that this is not fun for me in the race. The race is thrilling. The fun is in a reflection of a job well done at the end of it. So if you like a boxing match or an MMA fight, it is not fun to do that. It's thrilling. It's exciting. It's a challenge. It is a brawl. It is a knockdown, drag out race. And at the end of it, if you've accomplished what you've accomplished, that is a fun moment to reflect then. But your focus has to be too laser to really be having fun in that sense of the word. Man, I am awesome at going off on tangents.